Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Chamber check-in time, and welcome to another episode of from your Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. And today I'm honored to be able to help share a little bit about the organization called BASE, which is an acronym for Boise Adaptive Snow Sport Education. And I have Becky Walters. She's the gal you'll see up on the ski hill all the time, and then also is the race director for the inaugural Treasure Valley Triathlon. Hi, Becky.
Hi there. Great to join you, Paul.
Hey, thanks for taking some time with me today. I recently got to have a few conversations with you and with some others from your organization, but I've seen you and I've seen the organization up on the ski hill for years and the things that you do. So I'm so glad that you've joined the chamber and we have this opportunity to share what BASE is, the history, the mission and vision. And especially, I'm so glad that we have you today, Becky. And these
Thanks.
chamber check-ins have been 3.5 years now, and we've featured over 300 companies and businesses, and it's these opportunities that help elevate our engagement with our members. So I love to learn about the businesses, their histories, but most importantly, the people. So why
Yeah.
don't we start with you, Becky? Tell us a little bit about your background and history that led you into being a part of this organization.
Yeah, sure. And it's really my pleasure to be with you today, and I appreciate the opportunity. So I am somebody who was born, was pretty normal person until I turned 16. I had developed bone cancer in my left leg, and the only treatment was to remove most of my left leg. So I went from an able-bodied athlete. I had been in ran track and cheerleading, gymnastics, things like that. So I went from being, you know, kind of a normal high school kid to being a kid with a disability. And I realized right away how important it was for me to keep moving, physically keep moving and being active and being part of my community. And this was way before there were very many adaptive programs available. This was 1978.
Yeah.
And so I figured out how to start doing things, figured out how to ride a bike with one leg and how to run on my crutches and water ski and everything. I just tried, I invented my own adaptations, but I realized just how it made me feel like I was still, I hate to say the word normal, but I was still part of the larger community. I was still just the same person. I just looked different and I had to do things a different way. So I just fell in love with being active, and I wanted to help other people. So I learned to ski the year after I had my amputation, and I was living in Illinois at the time. I went to Colorado to learn to ski, and I was like, I have to move because there's no skiing in Illinois, lots of snow. So moved to the West Coast and was able to, I started volunteering as soon as I was a decent enough skier. 1983, I think, was the first season, and then was certified. I was one of the first females with a disability to get certified professionally as a ski instructor back in 1986. So I was involved no matter where I lived in volunteering with adaptive skiing and other sports. My degree in college was recreation therapy, which just fit right in with, my love. So that's how I got involved with BASE. I moved to Idaho in 1998, sorry. And I immediately looked around, to find out if they had a program, and they did. At the time, it was called Rec Unlimited. We've since rebranded because the name wasn't very descriptive of what we did, and there were other programs around the country with the same name. So we rebranded about 5 years ago to Boise Adaptive Snow Sport Education, which is what we do. We do skiing and snowboarding for, anybody who has any type of challenge that makes it harder for them to take a traditional lesson or
Yep.
a group lesson. So we serve kids. I think some of our youngest kids have been like 2.5, which was a little bit of a challenge. up into people in their 80s, and
Wow.
everything from physical challenges to developmental, chromosomal. Um, some of our students, you can't, it's not obvious maybe why they're taking lessons
Yep.
with us
Yep.
because of whatever their challenge is. But this last year, we had over 130 students and had close to 500 lessons that we gave. Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Becky, that's amazing. Um, I ski at Bogus as much as the next season pass holder here,
Yeah.
and you see your group out there in the red jackets doing the good stuff, and it's really cool that y'all are there to help support and educate as
Yeah.
well as put
Yeah.
some smiles on some people's faces.
Well, it really is because, well, all of our instructors are volunteers. We have, this year we had over 70 instructors, and it sounds like a lot, but most of our lessons are private. In fact, we'll have 2 instructors to 1 student, um,
Yep.
4 or 5 instructors if it's a person using a sit down device because of needing to tether and lift, and it's physically demanding. So we have more instructors on those lessons. But it's educational, not just for the person that's skiing or snowboarding, but it's for the whole family. They, you
Absolutely.
know, our goal is to get them good enough to where they can graduate from our program and they're able to go and recreate with their family anywhere they want to go skiing, um, and just set them up to be independent. Some of our skiers never are able to do that because of their challenges, and
Right.
we've had some students for 30 plus years because we started in 1978. So we've got a few longstanding students um, that are favorites that come back every season.
So you had mentioned the origin of base. Tell me a little bit more. Maybe expand on when it started in Boise. You said 1978, but more importantly, who maybe founded the organization and their why.
Yeah. Well, it was started by a couple of the Bogus Basin ski school employees that were starting to see programs like this starting up. And they were like, the need is there. So it was, they then got a grant from Boise Cascade. 1978 was a bad snow year, apparently.
Oh,
Didn't
okay.
live here then. But so a few of the larger corporations actually bought 10 years of season passes and donated them.
Wow.
And that's how we got started. That's how some of the other programs like Vertigals, Prime Timers, because then these companies donated the passes to start these programs. So it really
Um,
was a joint venture between um, the community, Boise Cascade, and the existing ski instructors that were up there. And then it soon then spun off to its own thing. So
you mentioned Rec Unlimited,
yeah,
and then how long has it been base?
about the last 5 years, we
Okay.
it's kind of a process to change things over. But we started about 5 years ago and rebranded, new logo, all that. So
Okay. Well, I know that you're an unpaid volunteer, and everybody on the team is, which I think is just incredible because you're doing it for the right reasons. And tell me and help share a little bit about your role with base. What do you get to do?
well, I'm the snow sport director, so I help the students get registered for lessons when we open up registration in the fall. I do a lot of recruiting of ski instructors because, like I said, they're all volunteers. And,
Yeah.
each year we have some that we lose just because they move away or life changes to where they don't have the time to donate their time. So we're always looking for new instructors. So we go to a lot of events, um, Pray for Snow, um, the ski swap, and try to just meet people out in the community. And we inevitably pick up a lot of students, and that's usually one of our best places to recruit volunteer ski instructors. So that's preseason. Once the season gets rolling, we spend December training. We train. You don't have to be a great skier. If you have the right heart and the right attitude, we can teach you what you need to do. Because a lot of our students are on the very beginning terrain. So you don't have to be some expert black diamond hotshot. I like people that have the right heart, because I can't change people's hearts,
Right.
but we can teach you the skills. And we never send a new instructor out with a student by themselves. We always have a more seasoned instructor that has more experience, to be like the take the lead on the lesson. So
Okay.
yeah, so during the season, then after we do training in December, we have lessons January and February, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm up there on the mountain, helping all the lessons get out and skiing around, checking to make sure everything's going okay. Um, I assign the instructors to the students. We try to keep the same instructor with the student as much as possible. That's
That's
not
awesome.
always possible because
Yeah.
some people's schedules, but especially our students with autism or other challenges like that, change is really difficult. So we try to keep
Absolutely.
as much consistency, but we've got a great online lesson platform so that instructors can read all the previous lessons from up going back about 5 years from when we went
Okay.
digital. Um, so that's really helpful. So
Well, thank you again, Becky, for all the work that you do and all the work that your team does. I know you have a great team and a great board of directors.
yeah,
Um, and now it seems like Boise Adaptive Snow Sport Education is putting on this summer triathlon. So tell us a little bit about the Treasure Valley Triathlon, Becky.
yeah. Well, for years people keep saying, why don't you do programming other than just winter? Yeah, there is the need. There's the need for more programming, more adaptive programming. There are some in the valley. I mean, the city of Boise has a great adventure program. Challenged Athlete Foundation does clinics, um, but there's space for more. And we were given a grant last year from a generous donor, with the hope of having us have a bigger outreach. So our board decided to dip our toe into the triathlon world. Part of this is because um, doing a doing one event is easier to pull off than, okay, we're now going to launch a summer full of adaptive mountain biking and hiking, and trying to find the personnel and support that. So we're like, and the main reason we're doing a triathlon is there aren't any anymore.
Oh,
Before COVID, um, there were, um, well, the YMCA had four, and then even a couple of years before that, there were other races in town, and that they had begun to stop having them because they're very expensive to put on, and they're complicated. And the Y said, okay, we're not bringing any triathlons back. So um, I have competed in triathlons, and I coached youth tri with the YMCA for a number of years before uh, COVID took them away. And so my heart was like, this is an event that I know people in our community would welcome, having an opportunity to have one back in the area, because the closest one is you got to go to Walla Walla, Washington, or Burley, or
really?
Eastern Idaho. There's some races over Pocatello and those areas. But 10 years ago, we had 10 triathlons in the
Right.
valley. So it's um, so I selfishly I was like, hey, I think I know what we can do. And our goal is not only to have just a fantastic race, um, but we wanted to have a place where we could have a large expo where we can bring in other groups that serve people with disabilities. So we've invited everybody from Special Olympics to Boise City Adventure Program to Challenge Athlete Foundation to the Northwest Association of Blind Athletes. And
Yay.
there's a sled hockey team that's seated sled hockey, and they're going to have a booth. So we have a large area where if you want to know or get involved, you can come and find out about it. So the race is sort of our stage to get all these groups together.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
how you're reaching out to the different groups,
yeah.
Becky, and the Northwest Association for Blind Athletes is near and dear to my heart, as well as I work with Billy Henry
Oh,
with what they're doing here and their expansion into Idaho, and those people that they're positively impacting as well. Okay, so
yeah.
Treasure Valley Triathlon
Yep.
is June 17th and 18th, with the 17th being the kids splash and dash and the 18th being the overall triathlon. Tell us a little bit more about the details. Who can register? What's the deadline to register? And what are the different levels of events? I know maybe it's Olympic is maybe the biggest, but tell me about that.
Okay. So the Youth Splash and Dash is Saturday, the 17th at 6 o'clock. And it is open water, but it is right along the shore. Um, and that registration is open. It's for kids 7 to 15. Any child with any type of disability or challenge will get a free race entry. They just need to email me. If they go to Treasure Valley Tri, they can get they email the race director and I send you a code. And we do probably have a third of the kids that are registered right now do have some kind of a challenge. And we've got volunteers from Boise High School, their soccer team,
Yeah.
and we've got volunteers from a program that the YMCA does, which is called Aquability, which is adaptive aquatics. So we're going to have people out there helping kids that have challenges have a successful, fun swim. So the younger kids, 7 to 10, it's a 100-meter swim and a 1K run. And the older kids, 11 to 15, it's double those distances. So 200-meter swim and a 2K run. And it's all just right there at Quinn's Pond and the Esther Simplot Park. And this is, the race is a USA Triathlon sanctioned race. So they're providing medals and bags and fun things for all the kids, and that's $25. So it's not an expensive race to do for kids to just get out and have a good time. And the next day we have 3 different distances, and we are the state championship race for triathlon. So anybody who is wanting to qualify to go to nationals, if they place third in their age division, they automatically will qualify to go to nationals for USA Triathlon. So, and we're the high school age championship too. So, we've actually got people coming from other states, which is really exciting. But there's 3 distances: super sprint, and Olympic. The super sprint is it is a perfect first time race. You don't even have to be that great of. You can decide to do it on Monday and race
Couch
on
surfers
Sunday.
can apply. Couch surfers can apply.
It's a 400 meter swim, which isn't very long, 5-mile bike, and a 1-mile run. So it really is. It's a great beginning race. And then sprint is a little bit longer. That is a recognized distance. That's a 750 swim, a 20K bike, and a 5K run. And then Olympic is a 1,500 meter swim, a 40K bike, and a 10K run. And it's all right there at Esther Simplot Park. We are going to close Whitewater Parkway so that the bike is done in laps. So it's really safe. It's also Paralympic friendly because it's flat. So the swim, and we're going to have accessible mats all the way down across the sand. So anybody in wheelchairs or that need to use assistive devices, we will have the sand covered for those athletes. And again, with this race, any athletes with any kind of challenge are getting a free race entry. And you were talking about the Northwest Association of the Blind. We have actually 3 or 4 relay teams with visually impaired athletes that are competing. So that's going to be really fun. So, yeah.
I love it. That's so cool. I'd love to see it. We'll be out there. My wife and I and our kids will be out there, Becky. And I know it's Father's Day weekend, so a great opportunity to spend some time with your pops, as well as watching and supporting the inaugural Treasure Valley Triathlon.
Yeah.
Becky, while I have you, is there any closing remarks, anything else you'd like to educate the listeners on?
Well, I just think the whole reason we're doing this is to bring the community together. And like you said, even if you're not racing, it's going to be a fun day. We're going to have live music and food trucks and a beer garden, thanks to Harrison Hollow. So it really is bringing the community together around the love of sport. And everybody, there's room for everybody to play. And that's really what we're trying to communicate as base, and not just on the ski mountain, but our community does really embrace people with differences. And that's going to be evident at the race. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of adaptive athletes, both at the Splash and Dash and at the Treasure Valley Triathlon.
Wow. And with the new field house coming to fruition,
Yep.
we're going to be the nation's mecca for coaching and developing that next generation of athlete. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun place to be. And it really does attract a lot of athletes of all types.
Yeah.
Boise, because we have so many opportunities. It is just rich for, 4 seasons of fun outdoors.
Oh,
So
that's awesome. Becky, thank you again for your time to help share a little bit about BASE, the organization that's been around for 50, almost 50 years, and also spawning the inaugural Treasure Valley Tri. I think it's gonna be awesome. I haven't yet been to an event at Esther Simplot quite like this. So what a great opportunity to register, to be able to compete right there, to swim in the pond, right on that roadway that you'll have blocked off and safe, as well as our Treasure Valley's finest amenity, the green belt to run on. I think it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. So thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about it.
Absolutely. Becky, say hi to Simon for me,
Okay.
all the team, and Katie.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you in a few weekends.
Thanks.